All right, let's get you inspired. Good morning and welcome into the Real Monica Adams Show. Maybe you saw below, we talk about physical sides of life and spiritual and mental sides. Today, we're going to help you with all of that. We're going to get into a workout Wednesday, a little wellness aspect of life. And we're going to do this one that all has to do with your legs, your butt in particular. I did a really incredible workout with my clients on Monday night. I'm going to show you a little bit of that. And then Jenny asked me to add in an area called your adductor. So we're going to do that a little bit later on today as well. So you get a workout. We're going to mix it all in. We're going to give you some news you can use. We've got the most important aspect, which is the weather. What are things going to look like today with regards to severe weather? I was just talking to Beckett, our aspiring meteorologist, as to whether or not I'd have time to run around, do a meeting midday. Doesn't sound like it. And this one is pretty severe. In fact, I saw early this morning the KMOV meteorologist talking about a level 5 for those down in the Cape Girardeau area. Let's talk about that in our immediate area with our aspiring meteorologist, Beckett Moore. We're going to kick it off right away. He is doing a segment that we call What the Weather.
Good evening from St. Louis, Missouri, and it is a beautiful one.
All right, a pretty serious day on tap for sure. First of all, good morning, Beckett.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you this morning? I know you're going to be busy, I'm sure, active.
Yes, for sure.
All right. And let's tell people right away where they can follow you. It's on the bottom of his screen. So in case you forget, you can write it down. But will you be most active on X or on YouTube today?
Likely X.
On X. Okay, so follow him on X and you'll be able to see that under his graphics. So I was just mentioning Cape Girardeau in a level 5. What other areas would be considered in that as well, Beckett?
Yeah, so that level 5 does extend down towards Cape Girardeau into the Boot Heel, Missouri, into parts of western Kentucky, northwestern Tennessee, and into northeastern Arkansas. So kind of that tri-state area down there near the Boot Heel. That's where we're looking at the greatest chance for severe weather today.
And again, if you're just tuning in, we want you to take this seriously. Obviously, we know what happened in mid-March, and are we going to see a repeat of that? That's what we're worried about. Are you going to school today?
Yes.
You are. Okay, well, please be careful out there. And anybody that's taking their kids to school or you're heading off to work, you may want to listen to Beckett's forecast before you head out because it may change your mind on some things. So, Beckett, tell us about the timing of it all and, again, the severity of it.
Yeah, so looking at the current conditions right now, we got a temperature of around 65 degrees, dew point there at 55. That's going to continue to rise as we need that moisture for some storms. Wind south-southeast at 15 miles per hour. That's also going to continue to rise as we're expecting breezy conditions, not even associated with the storms, but just breezy conditions overall today, which is why we have a wind advisory. So looking at the Storm Prediction Center outlook here, I think you guys can see that there, but looking at this outlook, you can see we are in a level 3 risk for parts of St. Louis. So for St. Louis City and the eastern extent of St. Louis County is an enhanced risk level 3 out of 5. The rest of St. Louis County and parts of Jefferson and most of St. Charles County are in a slight risk 2 out of 5. So it has downtrended a little bit, the risk for severe weather, which is good. But still, we are looking at a very severe risk as you head farther south. So down 55, down towards Farmington, that's where we're looking at a higher risk of severe weather today. So the severe potential in the St. Louis area, so we're talking St. Louis County, parts of Jefferson County, St. Charles County, into parts of western Illinois as well. Tornado threat is low, but as we head towards damaging wind and hail threat, we do have moderate risk for both. We could have some very damaging winds in parts of St. Louis, especially, again, to the south. Hail as well is going to be a possibility, likely small hail, though. Flooding is low for now, but that will change as we head into the rest of the week. Again, that tornado threat is low, but again, a larger tornado threat as we head to the south and east of the city. So looking at the timing, 8 to 10 o'clock, that's when we see storms start moving into the western extent of the St. Louis area. Then heading into 10 to 12, that's when we'll see storms starting to get into St. Louis. 12 to 2 exiting the area, but we'll still see that in parts of Illinois and south of St. Louis. And by 2 to 4, that'll be well south of us. down towards the Cape Girardeau area. Now, looking at Saturday's forecast, I just wanted to look ahead towards this because we are going to have a flooding threat as we look towards that. So, or actually, this is for Friday. So, Friday morning towards Saturday morning, we do have a flooding threat in St. Louis. We're going to continue to see this rain tomorrow into Friday and into Saturday as well. So, I think flooding is going to be an issue for St. Louis and areas south as well as we head into the rest of the week. Tonight's forecast, 5 p.m., 71, and then heading into this evening, 67, 64. Tomorrow's forecast, 53 in the morning. We're going to see that rain, though, start moving in with a high in the upper 50s near 60. Now, looking finally at the 7-day outlook, 80% chance of rain today with a high of around 75. Of course, thunderstorms are expected as we head towards noon, especially to the south of the city. That's where we'll have the greatest threat. Thursday, tomorrow, 62 degrees, 50% chance of rain. Friday and Saturday, both 100% chances of rain. That's why we're looking at such a severe flooding threat. Again, flash flooding is going to be possible. So if you live in a flood-prone area, especially on Friday and Saturday, be prepared for that flooding. Now, Sunday, 50 degrees, 40% chance of rain, finally tapering off. Then we get sunny skies, 54, 56 on Monday and Tuesday as we head into next week.
So, as far as the amount of rain we're expecting, how many inches?
Up to 5 inches here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, so we're going off of what we have today, and then it's just going to create yet another problem. So, yes, I did ask Julie already if he has to go to school. He does have to go to school. Julie's asking, can you do weather stuff at school?
Yeah, probably it'll depend, but I'll be able to do some, yes.
And Linda said she doesn't like to hear that you have to go to school. Stay safe heading home this afternoon. That's really interesting. I've never thought about that. It's been a long time since I've been in school, but obviously schools are called off many times depending on the severity of snow. Do they ever call off when there's the threat like this?
I've never really, I think in parts of the United States, like in the South, where they get a lot of tornadoes, and in like Tornado Alley in Oklahoma, I think they do that, but the rest of the country, not really. I don't think so.
Yeah. Again, we want you all to be safe, and parents might be making the decision whether they feel like they want to take their kids to school or not. Because if it's going to hit around that noon time period and then into the afternoon, hopefully it can hold off and we can get those kids home safely. If not, schools, I recommend that you let the kids stay home.
I do too.
Beckett agrees with me. Well, Beckett, you are incredible. Again, thank you so much for what you do. Please be safe. And he does a good job of this. It's this motherly aspect that I have inside of me. Text me and let me know when you make it home safely.
All right, sounds good. You're welcome.
All right, Becca, thank you so very much. Again, follow him on X. He will be very active on there for you. The most accurate meteorologist, right? And he hasn't even started in the career yet, which is just absolutely amazing. Jenny just said she's keeping hers home. So, yeah, make the decision, folks. It definitely is a serious one. So please be safe, be weather aware, making sure, we always ask you this, making sure that you have maybe an additional power source. Make sure you have flashlights nearby, candles nearby. I would say download different apps. If you cannot get onto the internet, have some apps that make you weather aware. Follow your local favorite meteorologist besides Beckett, and maybe have an app from the TV stations. So this is the day, although I'm not big on watching the news, this is the day that I say, please stay focused on paying attention to our meteorologists so they can make sure that you are safe. Before we get into some news you can use around the country, I want to bring it home. And I've been waiting for this one, as I know all of you are. Please look at the screen and start sharing this like crazy. You know, we talked about my dear friend that was tragically taken from us. Well, he always ended with every broadcast he did, or probably just if he saw you in person, he would say, your vibe attracts your tribe. He used to do a show on Thursdays at 4 o'clock with his dear friend, Barbara Goldson, who everybody knew as Babs. We are missing that so much for sure. And we're still thinking of ways that we can keep his memory alive. And the keeping the vibe alive phrase is what we've really come up with lately. There's going to be a celebration of his life, and rightfully so, and in big fashion. So this will be on May 31st, 2 p.m. to 7 p.m., a parade, food, drinks, music. It'll be on Macklin from Devonshire to Nottingham. If you have questions or you want to make donations in his honor, please reach out to brianmckennaday@gmail.com. Again, your vibe attracts your tribe, and a celebration of life for our dear friend, Brian McKenna. I cannot believe he's been gone for over a week already. If you didn't hear the story, long time, incredible sportscaster, more importantly, incredible human being that that has touched thousands of lives. And so we'll be out there big time. I'm asking a dear friend of his if there's anything that we here with our team, with our community can do to help put on an amazing day for him and to remember him fondly. Again, your Vibe Attracts Your Tribe Day, the McKenna Day, coming up May 31st. I know you will want to be there from 2 to 7 p.m. with the parade, the food, the drinks, etc. All right, let's get into some news you can use. And yes, for those of you that are tuning in and you're seeing what it says about today, stick with us. Coming up very soon, we're going to get into a workout that you can either do with us today, this morning, or you're going to want to save this one. It affects the legs, more importantly, the chain muscles, the glutes, the low back, the hamstrings, excuse me, all of that, as well as the inner thighs. So the ladies that say, oh, they're jiggling on me, or guys as well that just want to get stronger. For those of you that have athletes, you need to work the adductor muscles. It's very important. And I'm also very big on you stretching. So we're going to get into our workout Wednesday in just a bit. And you don't need any weights whatsoever. If you want to, you can add weights to this, but you do not have to. I always want to come up with things that people can do without any equipment or having to head off to the gym if they don't want to. If you want to go to the gym, take this one to the gym with you. All right, news. First of all, this is called Liberation Day. Trump's Liberation Day arriving today as, according to ABC News, this is their headline, he gambles big on a risky tariff policy. He's going to unveil the tariffs later this afternoon from the White House garden. And we will, of course, then follow up with that for you tomorrow morning. It's expected to be broad-based reciprocal tariffs on imports as part of his America First agenda. It's a moment months in the making for the president. He has repeatedly billed this as Liberation Day, claiming it will free the United States from dependence on foreign goods and saying we're going to be getting back a lot of the wealth that we so foolishly gave up to other countries. That is a quote from our president. April 2nd, 2025 will go down as one of the most important days in modern American history, according to the White House press secretary, Caroline Leavitt. That's what she told reporters yesterday. This is a serious political gamble for our president, who made his way back to the White House in no small part because of his promise to better the economy. And so there will be a lot of eyes on what happens later this afternoon and, of course, in the days to come. That doesn't mean there won't be retaliation, because now Canada is coming out and vowing to retaliate if Trump escalates the trade war, saying we will respond. And that is from the Canadian Prime Minister, Mark Carney. He told reporters yesterday, we will put in place retaliatory measures if there are additional measures put against Canada this afternoon. Speaking to reporters minutes later, the White House press secretary reiterated Trump's plan to announce the wide-ranging new tariffs. Again, the country's been one of the most open economies in the world, and we have the best consumer base. And then she said, but too many foreign countries have their markets closed to our experts. Of course, we will all be keeping an eye to this. Some people commenting saying they're worried, others saying that, are we going to go through a recession? We've had it before. We reset, and what happens? We come out ahead. I'm crossing my fingers and hoping that this doesn't create that. I know a lot of you have been probably looking at your own investments, a little worried. If you are a longtime investor, though, my brother taught me this a long time ago, don't keep an eye on it on a regular basis. Don't say, oh my gosh, I lost $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. Only if you take that money out. So yes, if you are an investor and you are in your senior years, then you might want to talk to a financial advisor and ask them, what should you do right now? I would love to have a financial advisor on sometime maybe in the next few days or in the coming weeks, so we can ask them questions about whatever your concerns are. Maybe you start loading up those questions to me and pass them along. Speaking of our president, he also is holding a meeting on possible investors to buy TikTok with a possible ban at stake. Now, we've been talking about this one for years. The president will hold a meeting today with aides about possible investors who could buy a stake in TikTok, and it's a deal that could potentially stop the social media site from being banned in the U.S. Details of this meeting were confirmed by a person familiar with the situation who spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss internal deliberations. Now, there has been uncertainty about the popular video app after a law took effect on January 19th requiring its China-based parent, which is ByteDance, to divest its ownership because of national security concerns. After Trump took office, he gave TikTok this 75-day reprieve. He signed an executive order that delayed it until April 5th. The enforcement of the law requiring a sale or effectively imposing this ban we've been talking about for years now. Among the possible investors, by the way, are the software company Oracle and the investment firm Blackstone. So, keeping an eye to this one. I know your kids are probably not happy that it's a possibility. All of you that are very active on TikTok will be watching the news of this very closely. Okay, they're not going away, but the restaurant chain Hooters is filing for bankruptcy. Chapter 11. But the bar restaurant chain, known for its female wait staff and orange shorts, says the company is not planning to go anywhere. They plan to sell all of their 100 company-owned restaurants to two franchisees groups. The company was founded actually back in 1983 in Clearwater, Florida, but it has come under fire in recent years after several lawsuits were filed for racial and gender discrimination. Last year, Hooters closed dozens of restaurants because of rising food and labor costs. The Wall Street Journal, by the way, is reporting the chain's original founders plan to return as part of a new management team in its reorganization. So reorganizing, not going anywhere. So if you like going there, and by the way, it's not just the guys. I know a lot of women that say they love to go there because they love their chicken wings. So not going anywhere anytime soon, just a little restructuring. I mentioned this with Jenny briefly yesterday. If you have not driven by, the demolition of Chesterfield Mall is nearly complete. And if you're outside of our immediate area, this is in St. Louis County. It began at the site back in October, clearing the site for a planned residential and commercial development called Downtown Chesterfield. And if you drive by, though, very little remains of what used to be Chesterfield Mall. It's just crazy to watch all this. By the way, the Macy's and Dillard's buildings will remain in place for the upcoming development. Dillard's plans to reopen its store, and as they actually plan to lease part of the former Macy's building for retail while moving its company's offices to the rest of the building. Yesterday, a few parts of the structure still stood, with a few remnants, if you want to drive by today, of the original stores still visible, such as the AMC theater seats. And we mentioned yesterday, it's just a shame to see malls go away. Well, this is some unfortunate news. Val Kilmer, the star of Batman Forever and Tombstone, has passed away at the age of 65. Of course, if you watch the latest Top Gun, you know that his character barely could speak. Val, who played Bruce Wayne in Batman Forever, channeled Jim Morrison in Oliver Stone's The Doors, and starred as Doc Holliday in Tombstone, and so much more, and so much more. We could go on and on and on about his amazing career. He died in Los Angeles yesterday. His daughter Mercedes told the New York Times the cause was pneumonia. He was 65. He had been battling throat cancer for several years, and representatives with Val Kilmer did not immediately respond to request for comment. So I'm sure there will be much more coming out remembering his life. And feel free, by the way, to drop in your favorite movie. Me personally, I loved him in both Top Guns, actually. I didn't get a chance to interview him, but I interviewed the entire cast besides Tom and Val in the latest Top Gun series, which, by the way, if you haven't seen, you really needed to see it on the big screen. It's one of those movies. But rest in peace, Val Kilmer. Let's give you some better news about comedian and Full House actor Dave Coulier. He says his cancer treatments are working, and he is looking forward to ringing the bell. How amazing is this? And I want to let you all know he was supposed to be coming in town. I hope that's still able to happen for the Puck Cancer event, which is coming up this weekend. And tickets are still available for this. Coulier played the beloved Uncle Joey, of course, on Full House. He was diagnosed, if you didn't know this, with stage 3 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma in October just of last year. The cancer affects the lymphatic system. So he has been battling that. But now, in a new interview with Parade Magazine, the 65-year-old actor said he started treatment within days of his diagnosis because of the cancer's aggressive nature. And he recalled the day his doctor told him he had cancer. He said, "It's funny how life just happens sometimes, because we'd been waiting to hear from doctors, scans, blood work. He was home alone with his 2 dogs. Doctors called and said, 'Well, we wish we had better news for you.' And he said, 'I just went gulp. They said you have non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, the most aggressive kind.'" And I recalled his doctor telling him that he'd be going in for chemo just a week after that because of the aggressive nature. And right as he hung up the phone, his wife came home. And first thing she said was, "Have you heard from the doctor?" He said, "I got off the phone." And the two of them started to talk about it. She, of course, thought he was joking around because he's such a comedian. He completed his last round of chemo in February, but the process took an incredible emotional and physical toll on his body. Neuropathy, nausea, dizziness, brain fog with each treatment. But he said, we are so excited. My son and my wife live in California. We'll be making multiple trips to see a new baby boy. He just became a grandfather last week. So some wonderful things coming for him. But again, thoughts and prayers still going out to an incredible actor and an absolutely hilarious comedian. And I certainly hope that he can make it in, but he's got to do what's best for his body, his family. For those of you that are going to Puck Cancer, though, if you get a chance to see him, give him, well, I don't know if he'll be able to be around or touch anybody, probably still with a weakened immune system, but maybe give him a high five or just give him a wink and just tell him way to go as you just find out this news. We're getting a little sneak peek for you of the St. Louis Zoo's newest baby elephant jet. I haven't been to the zoo in a long time, but I'd love to see this pachyderm, one of the latest additions to the zoo, along with 2 polar bears. So there's a look for you at baby elephant Jet, who is already pretty large, right? In sports news, and by the way, if you are tuning in and you're wanting to drop it like a squat, we are going to get into our Workout Wednesday in just a bit, but always want to catch you up on things that are going on around our world and around our immediate area. Did you stay up to watch this one? How about those Blues? 10 in a row, folks. I mean, this looks like the team that won the Stanley Cup in 2019. The Blues defeating the hated Detroit Red Wings. And I mean, it was down to the seconds to put it into overtime. They came out victorious 2-1. The Blues will be playing the Penguins tomorrow night. And then next up for them on Saturday will be the Colorado Avalanche. It was just absolutely incredible. And there was the big hug at the end of the game. How many of you stayed up for that? Let me know if you did. I did get a chance to watch the final goal. Before we get into Cardinals news, the attendance, you probably saw this during the Angels game, was the lowest in stadium history. And here was a X post. The Cardinals are off to a good start this year, but that hasn't stopped fans from sending a message to ownership. The announced attendance of 21,206 at Busch Stadium. It was the smallest crowd in stadium history. It's not good news. And I know people are mad at ownership, but those players see the fact that you're not out there as well. And I know some people think it's become so greedy and they don't want to go to the games anymore, and the cost of concession and parking. And it does. It's sometimes very easy to just sit at home and watch the game. So they obviously showed that. Speaking of the Cardinals are in action today at 12:15. This will be interesting to see if they get this one in. However, it's the Angels at the Cardinals. Then the Cardinals will be against the Red Sox coming up on Friday. That's an afternoon 1:10 game. And the Cards at the Red Sox Saturday also with a 3:10 game. But as I mentioned, it will be interesting since Beckett was just telling us that the severe weather will be coming in the afternoon. I would be surprised if this one doesn't get postponed and rescheduled. And have you heard this? I meant to mention this the other day, and I want to talk to our friends at Rawlings with the Rawlings experience. I reached out to Eric last night. Remember that? Wonderful. And I really do think it was such a fun mobile Monica we did. If you haven't seen that, maybe go back and go onto YouTube or Google Monica Adams at the Rawlings experience. Watch that show. It was such a blast. These torpedo bats are drawing attention after the Yankees hit team record 9 homers in rout of the Brewers. And now everyone is wanting these bats. So I'm wanting to find out if this is something that a lot of kids and adults, by the way, are asking if they can get made done. They are torpedo bats, again, drawing attention. A team record 9 homers that the Yankees hit. That traveled, by the way, a combined 3,695 feet over the weekend. It is a strikingly different model in which wood is moved lower down the barrel after the label and shapes the end a little like a bowling pin. Paul Goldschmidt, formerly from the Cardinals, Cody Bellinger, Austin Wells, Anthony Volpe, and Jazz Chisholm Jr. homered in New York's 20-9 rout of the Milwaukee Brewers. So how many of you have young kids that are saying, Mom, Dad, I want one of those torpedo bats? I'm going to look at your comments in just a second. We're going to wrap up with our National Day of Calendar, National Do-It-Yourself Day, Child Help National Day of Hope. It's National Ferret Day, National Walking Day. And if you are going to walk, you better get out this morning, which is what I'm going to do. As soon as the show's over, take those doggies for a walk before the bad weather comes. It's also National Reconciliation Day, And I'm going to have this because I am a fan of peanut butter and jelly. It is National Peanut Butter and Jelly Day. I like almond butter a little bit better and sunflower butter. What about you? So take part in those. All right, let's go back and look at some comments from all of you. Saw your good mornings. Kathy says she loves squats. Good morning to each and every one of you that are saying good morning. We talked to Beckett again about whether he's going to school. For all of you that are taking your kids to school today, please be careful. Otherwise, make the decision, and rightfully so. If you say, hey, I'm not sending my kids to school today, I want to keep them safe, well, you've got that right. And Jenny said she's doing just that. Channel 4, according to Julie, said this morning, if you download their app, it will talk to you if there are updates on the weather. Yes, I heard that as well. In fact, Steve Templeton or Matt Chambers or Kent Earhart or Leah, they will come on, and in your area, they will literally come on the app and say, take cover. It's in your area. There's lightning in your area, etc. They'll literally be talking to you. I saw that as well. Rose, I will be there for Brian. I keep looking back at messages he sent me. One of a kind. We're talking again about what we mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast, which is the Brian McKenna Day coming up May 31st. Be there. Tell everybody. Put this on your page, 2 to 7 p.m. If you're outside of our immediate area, I'm telling you, he affected people well outside of St. Louis, and his vibe did attract an incredible tribe. So start living his way. Be more positive. Reach out, volunteer. He was involved in so many different charities, and what we want to do on this show is continue to keep his vibe alive and focus on those charities. I reached out to a few yesterday. I'd love to do regular segments, and I'd love to get a big sponsor where we're able to give some money to those charities as we bring them on each and every week, and then just, take each charity throughout each month and just separate it up between all of them. That's one of the ideas we came up with. Okay, Linda said she experienced a tornado warning once at school as it was letting out. It was crazy. We had to call some buses back in, hold the kids, some parents as well, and shelter them. Many parents were upset. Kids crying, again, trying to keep them from this. There were baseball-sized hail, sounded like bombs hitting the roof. Luckily, no tornado damage. Yeah, we're hoping for no damage and loss of life. So stay safe, everybody, at schools, at work, etc. Linda, FYI, today is Lighted Up Blue Day for autism. Okay, thank you for letting us know that. See, this is why I love our community. I'm surprised that didn't come up in the National Day of calendar. Jenny, so sad. I just drove past yesterday. I just can't believe it. I missed the mall, Chesterfield Mall. Go and look at it. It's crazy. Again, just a few remnants. Rose said Tombstone, one of the best movies. If you've never seen it, watch it with the late, great Val Kilmer. Julie, you watched the Blues game? I know, it was amazing. Baseball's become too expensive, she says. A lot of people think professional sports just in general has. Good morning, Richard. Joining a little late this morning. That's okay. By the way, everybody say prayers for him and wish him, not just him, but he and his wife well. They both had surgery, carpal tunnel and the trigger finger surgery. You can't give up when there's a minute or two left anymore, can you? No, you can't. What a ride the Blues are giving us, Rose. You bet. Dot, can't wait to see you. She will be on with us. You know her, you love her. If you're new to the show, maybe you haven't seen her. She is with Coldwell Banker Gundaker, and she is coming on with us tomorrow. I'm sorry, not tomorrow. On Friday, we will have Friendship Friday, and we'll be talking a little real estate. We'll actually get you involved. She's got a little hot seat that she's going to get you all involved in. It's a home buyer hot seat game with some fun and wild home options. And then we're going to talk about Easter as we get ready for the Easter Bunny. And then, of course, remembering what Easter is all about. So Dot, can't wait to see you. I heard someone's phone ringing in Walgreens with the app yesterday. Yep. Again, praying for you guys. Let us know if you need anything. That's to everybody. Anybody that needs our prayers, we'll just send it out to each and every one of you. Okay. It is 7:30. Perfect time for us to take our break. And when we come back, we are going to drop it like a squat. Drop it like a squat. What does that mean? We're going to show you some moves that will target your lower muscles, meaning your glutes, your hamstrings. Your IT band needs to be rolled out and needs to be stretched. For those that always feel like they're really tight in their hip flexors, sometimes you need to work the core and the abdominal muscles a little bit more, your low back muscles, so that your hip flexors don't constantly take over. Do you have any questions or anything you want me to show specifically? Otherwise, I've got a handful of exercises I'm going to show you. We'll wrap up with our devotional coming up right before 8 o'clock. Stephanie, good morning to you. Busy day, she says. I have food pantry and we're hosting the Lenten meal at church, trying to get to the pool. The pool, The blues are awesome. Jimmy Snug. I know. I saw. We were talking yesterday about Jimmy Snuggerud. Is it Snuggerud? Snuggerud. He had his NHL debut yesterday. Yeah, with the St. Louis Blues. I saw that, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right. Snuggerud. Is that correct? I hope I'm not butchering his name. All right, for all of you that tuned in and want a good workout, and some of you might be home, and maybe you can have the kids do it because you decided to keep them at home. We're going to work the glutes and drop it like a squat when we return.
Carroll House has the furniture you're dreaming of.
For big family gatherings, for entertaining friends, or just hanging out.
For working from home or resting after work.
For kids growing up, or young adults moving out.
Whether you're updating your first home, your next home, or your dream home.
Whatever the reason you're shopping, we have the furniture you're dreaming of at Carroll House.
Because you like nice things.
This lady got me in the best shape of my life. I literally didn't know that I could be in shape like that. But the amount that she pours into her clients, and especially whenever you get the one-on-one training, it's mind-blowing. I mean, it was really life-changing. I learned so much about proper form, about nutrition, about just being able to invest in myself. I hired Monica to be my personal trainer, which was one of the best decisions I've ever made.
Well, your little personal trainer here is going to get down on the floor. Since I don't have a producer here with me or a director, I'm going to do it right here in my space because I like being real. So let me head over here for a second and make sure that you can still see me. I will also be looking at comments for any of you that are wanting specific things. Let me bring this down just a bit so you can see me on the floor because you're going to want to see all of me. And then we'll bring this out of the way. Questions, comments. We're going to look at form. I want you to tell me if there's anything that you've been struggling with. And so when I was at Channel 5, we started a segment that was called Motivational Moments with Monica. We did it for 2 years. It was so popular and I loved having it. It was something that so many people would write in and ask us, can you show me this? Can you show me that? Can you work on this particular part of the body? What can I do when I'm at home? I don't want to I don't want to go to the gym. Or of course, we really started it during the pandemic because it was all about, I can't get to the gym. Gyms are closed, etc. So first of all, make sure that you all can hear me okay. Stephanie just said he's from Minnesota. I watched his dad play hockey at the University of Minnesota. Oh, I love it. So again, Jimmy Snuggerud, again, I'm hoping I'm saying his name right, making his NHL debut with the Blues. Okay, so I can see comments from here. And then let me move this just a little bit. Can you all? Yeah, let's do this. All right. So I'm down on the floor in the office in gym shoes. I like to be real, right? We've got stuff just like anybody's house. It looks lived in. Nothing should be all perfect. And oh my gosh, there's a little bit of the chair in there. This is the thing about life. Perfectionism. It is something I just want to get rid of for so many people. Once you release perfectionism, once you say, oh, wow, Jim's shoes are there. Oh, there's a little this. And oh my gosh, you finally suddenly realize that means you're living, folks. You're actually living. So for those of you that think everything has to be perfect when someone comes to your home, and if they're judging your home, I've said this before, if they're judging your home, they're not a real friend. If they go back to their spouses or their kids or friends, oh my gosh, I went over to Monica's house and I saw a little dust. Oh my gosh, I went to Monica's house and Jim's shoes were out instead of being in a closet. Really? Then don't come to my house. Do you all agree with that? Feel free to weigh in. Hey, you know what? It's great. If you have something that looks like a museum at your house, fantastic. You do you, but I'm going to live. And I'm going to hang around more people that like to live than try to do the perfectionism mentality. That's my little soapbox that I'm going to sit on for today. I needed to come down to the floor. Don't have a director here. Don't have a producer here. So I want to show you moves since that's what you're asking for. It's not going to be all beautiful, polished the way we did in TV, but I think you probably enjoy that more. You tell me. Weigh in on that. All right. So for the glutes, I should say, and the adductor muscles, which is your inside muscles of your inside of your legs. I'm going to show you some moves that you can do anywhere. If you have any questions on those, if you can't hear me properly, if you can't see properly, just drop a comment in and I can see that. My house is well lived in. Thank you, Julie. Anybody else want to weigh in on that? I want you to live more. And I tell you what, all of you that have everything perfectly in place, I'm going to tell you to release the pressure on yourself and start having things out a little bit. Unless you have massive OCD, then you're not going to be able to do it. I get that. Let me move this out of the way so you can see. If you're just tuning in, we're doing rearranging of furniture. We're doing the do-it-yourself house decorating. No, seriously, we are doing glute work, and then I'll stand up and do some adductor work. So here's the first thing I want you to do. If you can, now those of you that might have bad knees might say that it's a little bit difficult to do so. I'm going to take my shoes off because you don't need them for this, right? So you can relax a little bit and get deep into the ground. So for our glutes, and by the way, yesterday we did tight on tight or tight on baggy. I'm going to start tight on baggy. If I start to get warm, I'm going to get tight on tight. If you didn't see the show, and if you don't know, you don't know. If you know, you know. We talked about this yesterday. So, all right, everybody see me okay? Do I need to move? I think you should see me okay. The first one, we're going to go from this straight into another exercise. So the first one we're going to do is straight up kicks. Now, I tell this to my clients a lot. Do you see what's happening with my heel? And that's why I took my shoe off, so you can really see that. It is straight up and down. You can actually see the glute squeezing. So watch. I'm looking up at the screen just so you can see me, but I want you to put your head straight down. So up, back down. 2, back down. If you're just tuning in, it's the Real Monica Adams Show, getting real in my office and doing some glute work for you. 5, 6, and I'm going to tell you something that I want you to pay attention to. One thing that I don't want you to do. 7, 8, 9, 10. You can go up to 15, 20, 25. What I don't want you to do is to dump into your low back, right? So what I don't want is this, and then you start to do this as you sink to the ground. By the way, we talk a lot about having a stronger core. So do some plank work. Use your abdominal, your low back, your glute muscles. In every movement that you do, you'll have a stronger core. So when you're doing this, I want you to not dump into the back. You'll feel a strain in your back if you're doing it wrong. So let's go to the other side. Okay, same thing. Up, like that. I'm away from my microphone, so I'm going to turn back. Any questions on that? Straight up. I would, again, take it to maybe, like I said, maybe 15, 20, 25 different repetitions. I'm just going to go ahead and go to the other side. I prefer that you look straight down so that you're not straining in the neck. I'm only looking up just in case you have any comments on this. So there's 5, there's 6, there's 7, and 8. I'm just going to do 10 here for you. 9 and 10. And then we're going to go, any questions on that? If not, we're going to go straight into a fire hydrant move. Richard, I'm sorry that I'm laughing inside, but my body just doesn't move like that. Do you have a dislocated hip or something? I don't. But according to Richard, he needs to stretch more. So we'd have to show a future motivational moment with Monica in stretching. Any questions on that one? Have any of you done that before? Do you have limitations that will not allow you to get down on the ground? If so, you can modify. I don't have camera ability. Well, let me do this. Let me stand up. Let's just be real. Okay. And wobbly camera. If you could not go down to the ground, you can do the same thing, holding onto a chair, and then you're just going to push back. It's the same thing, folks. We're working our glutes, but you're not flicking. I see too many people flick like this. That is not what you want to do. I want you to bend the knee, push back through the heel, pushing back through the heel. Does that make sense? And does that help all of you that have limitations? So a lot of times I think you think that we come up with different exercises and then suddenly you say, I can't do those because I can't get down to the ground. That doesn't mean you can't do the exercise. So there was your modification. So rounds, I usually get asked how many questions. So I usually get asked questions about how many repetitions, how many rounds. I would suggest that you try to do 2 to 3 sets. Maybe you even want to go up to 4 and you get into the higher repetition. So Okay, Richard said, now we're talking. I can do that. Yes. So I know you just had surgery and maybe you can't put a little pressure there on your hand. So maybe you use the other hand and put that one down and then the other one just rest on top of it, or just use more core muscles. Let me step back here. Use more core muscles and you can do the same thing. Now I'm having to balance. So guess what? I get the ability of this leg, that's the standing leg, having to work balance and a lot of muscles that are being used in the stability while the other one's doing the glute work. All right. If you don't have any other questions with that, and I love that we've got more and more of you that are signing on, looking for maybe for yourself or for your kids or the entire family getting involved in workouts. That's the other thing I'm going to ask you. We used to have videos that all of you would send me, and I would show you working out with your family. Sometimes the dogs even got involved with it. So send me some short videos. I'd love to show you on a future motivational moment with Monica, maybe a 20, 30-second clip of you all working out together. So get the kids and let's showcase you. You can send those to info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com and we'll get you on a future show. Okay, so you could stay on the ground, or Richard and everybody else that can't get to the ground, you can stay in a standing position and do the exact same thing. So you're never left out. And this is really for our children as well as our seniors. Yes, you seniors can do these moves as well. If you're just tuning in, we've got about 40 of you on right now. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, Rumble, and X. All of you, if you have any questions, drop it in. I can either see it live and try to comment before we wrap up, or I'll make sure that I answer your questions when we get off the show. So how about a fire hydrant? So we go from a donkey kick into a more of a fire hydrant move. So this one looks like this. Let's see. Let's back up here. So you're going to go from here. You just wrapped up this move, right? Then you're going to open up and close. Open, two. Let me get closer here and bring this down so you can see that move a little bit better. All right, here we go. So open, close. That's three. Again, what am I doing? Keeping my head down, no strain on the neck. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm doing 10 here for you. Questions on any of these? Some people have a lot of tightness in here. That means you need to do mobility exercises. You've got to get that opened up. My right side's a little tighter than my left, but not too bad. 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm guiding a little bit more with my heel. 7. Again, the connection point to my glute. 9, 10. Any of you doing this with me live right now, by the way? Hi, Robert said, you go, girl. I want you to go. I want you all to do this as well. So don't just make me do it by myself. For those of you tuning in, I was asked to show some glute exercises as well as inside legs, which we're going to get to in just a second. Okay, any questions on that? Again, 2 to 3 sets. That's my recommendation. 15, 20, 25 repetitions. We don't have any weights there. But for those of you that want to level up, you could put an ankle weight on. You could actually hold a small dumbbell to your side like this. If you wanted to add some resistance, you could put the weight here and you could you're not going to hold it tightly to where it's lifting with your arm. It's just resting on the leg and you have a little added resistance. Or again, get an old school ankle weight and then use that as this becomes easier and easier. If you're up to 25 repetitions and you want to level up again, then that's where I would tell you to maybe use a small weight. Kathy says, I am, and it's great. Okay, good. Kathy's working out with us. If you are just tuning in, we're doing the Real Monica Adams Show down on the ground in the office, working out with you on this Workout and Wellness Wednesday. If you have any questions on any of this, let me know. I've got 2 more that I'm going to show you, and that is on your back. So come with me. Let's get this out of the way. We'll come over to this, and you're going to sit on the ground. You're going to push through your heels, and we're going to do a double, and then we're going to do a single. Actually, I'm going to give you 3 exercises here before we wrap up. So this is going to give you 5 exercises. Let me get this chair to move out of my way. And then we'll take this microphone down with me. If you're just tuning in and you're like, what the heck? It's a real show with all of you possibly working out like Kathy is, working out at home. Hey, Linda Eckert might still be on her treadmill. And if so, that's fine, but maybe you can do this later. So the bridge, fantastic for glute work. Again, relaxing the neck. So you're going to be here and you're going to push up through those heels. You can probably see that I've got my toes lifted off the ground. So you are going to push up and then back down. Push up and down. I'm going to do 10 for you. 3. And I want you to come up as high as you can without straining the back. 4. If you're just tuning in, today is dropping it like a squat, which I'm going to do for you at the end when I stand back up. 6. 7, but we're going to do a variation on a squat to hit the adductor muscles. 8. 9. 10, and then you can really squeeze and engage if you want to come up just a little higher. Now you can do the same thing. We can get a good stretch in our glutes by taking the leg across. If you ever want to get a good stretch in your hips and in your glutes, you do it like this. And then you can go up and do a single bridge. 3, 4, 5. Kathy, I know, is working out with me. Anybody else doing it live right now? If you're not, you can do this later. 8. And if I did multiple reps and sets, by the way, this would take me about 20 minutes. This is a good, easy 20-minute workout. So now here I am stretching again. I can feel a little tightness in the outer part of my hip and my glute. We're going to go up. 1, 2. Any questions, folks? 3. Let me know. 4. I'm working out with you, giving you some tips on how to build those glutes, get them sexy looking. Drop it like a squat in just a second. 9 and 10. By the way, just to give you a bonus one, when you're down on the ground, you can also do more of like a frog. So you put the feet together, the heels together, and you would be more like this. And then it's going to get into the outer part of your hip and your glutes. So that's a variation, by the way, or it's an additional exercise. This is actually going on to our 6th exercise that we have already for you. Okay, here's 5, squeezing, going up. 6, engaging my belly and my core. 7, come up. 8, squeeze those glutes. 9, and squeeze, and 10. Okay, so that's another one for you. There are many more where I could flip over on the back, flip on my stomach, and then put my knees in a bent fashion, and then raise those heels up. You're not going to be able to come far up off the ground, but it's really a great focus on the glutes. That one's probably a little harder for me to show without anybody here to really show the angles. So just know, hopefully you understand that one. Again, you'd be on your bellies, your knees would be bent, your feet in the air, and you just lift those heels off the ground and really squeeze into the glutes. All right, I'm going to look at the comments in just a second. I want to show you the squat aspect. So we're going to come back here, look at comments. And let me switch back to me. All right, here we go. So any questions on those? We're going to take a break and then we're going to come into the squat portion. Let me see here. Good idea. I can't get down either. Chair yoga is good as well. Yes, it is. Not just chair yoga, Stephanie, but also you can do some osteo ball workouts for those that are seniors. You can do a lot of things in the chair. Kathy is bridging with me. Yes, we do that in Pilates, Kathy says. Carrie says, hello, getting ready to go to my water fitness class at River Chase. I love that. River Chase is where I used to work out. Julie says, I would love that. Kathy was working out. Robert said, you go. Okay, I'm going to take a break. Any questions? Anything you want me to show you again from that? Let me know. If not, that allows you to do about 5 or 6 different exercises, multiple sets, higher repetitions. I didn't use, any weights. I didn't leave my office. I didn't have to go to a gym. And that is how you are able to work and really feel the glutes. Now, could I give you more and more and more? Yes. Today, we're going to give you some. I don't want to overwhelm you. I just want you to start doing something if you're not doing anything at all. And then squats. If you're not doing squats, then you're not building your legs. You've got to do squats. And for some of you, you have to do a variation of it. Maybe a doctor's told you got to only do it in not only, but you have to do it in a smaller range of motion. I like getting people to 90 degrees and deeper, the deeper squats, getting into those glutes. But what about the adductors or the inside thighs that a lot of people want to work? We're going to show you that when we return.
My house is so outdated and old. Can you help?
Let's take down this wall and add a support beam there. Or just replace the furniture.
I love it.
New sofa, chaise lounge, and tables from Carroll House.
What about this bedroom?
Let's tear down this wall.
Or a new bed, dresser, and accessories.
It's like a whole new room.
Get free in-home design, fast free delivery, and free financing too. Skip the remodel. Add new furnishings from Carroll House for your new perfect room. Because you like nice things.
We do love nice things, and I want you to bring out your nice things, your motorcycles, your Jeeps, your Mustangs, your Corvettes. It doesn't matter, because all vehicles are welcome at this. It's the 3rd annual Dudes Playground Poker Run. Join us. We're going to be there. We're going to broadcast as it kicks off at noon on June 21st. This is located in Waterloo, Illinois, to be exact, 5301 Kaskaskia Road. You know him. You love him. He's been a big part of the viewership from pretty much day one. Richard Melching. You see him comment a lot. He's watching right now, and he would love for you to come out and support his dream of what he's been doing for the last 7 years, helping our veterans. It's $10 per poker hand. As I mentioned, all vehicles welcome. So this isn't just for motorcycles. They're going to have a 50-50, free food and entertainment. And let me thank all of those that have donated. Richard, by the way, feel free to drop in the other people that have donated for you so that we can make sure that we give them their props. I want to thank Giuseppe Presevento. He is the owner of Trattoria Giuseppe, and he is donating food and a gift certificate for this. I love you, my friend. Thank you so much for showing up. Bo Matthews, a very dear friend of mine. Remember that name from WIL days? He's going to have Rich on his show coming up in June. He's going to be showing up, of course, on our show talking about this. The Sparklers display you want to stick around for, he said it's really beautiful, is at 9:15 that evening. So what you need to do right now is start telling everyone you know. In fact, take a screenshot of this or whatever you want to do, or we can send you a flyer if you want to put it up at your work. You want to have your kids pass it around for you. I want to get our entire community showing up at this. I'm going to be talking to different hog chapters. I want to thank my friend Kent Powers. Kent used to be very high up at Burbus Valley Harley Davidson, and he was talking to me yesterday about how he's going to get the word out. So we are spreading it far and wide. So I hope Richard is at home smiling. Yep, he just wrote epic, because I want this to be huge. So share like crazy, and let's help out those that have served, those that are maybe currently serving, our veterans, our disabled veterans. That's what Dudes Playground is for. It is a respite for them to come and enjoy some fishing and some food and some camaraderie. That is what Dudes Playground has been doing, and now we're just going to bring more and more attention to it. Again, June 21st, noon until the sparklers display in the evening. Rich said, yes, please come join us. We are still working on final details. Okay, I love that. If you're just tuning in, we showed you some exercises that you can do. The squatting aspect is something that I mentioned that you want to do on a regular basis. Why is that? Because that is how you build and tone the leg. So let me do a little switcheroo here, the magic of cameras. Now let's bring it up a little bit and let's show you some squats. What I'm going to show you though is how you are going to get into here. So a typical squat, I'm going to show you right now. What I don't want you to do, I see too many people do this. They go to squat and they fold over. They are doing this. That is not a squat. That's a surefire way to injure your back. When you do a squat, I want your feet shoulder width or maybe a little bit wider. You can do it without any weights. Look at how upright my back, my chest, that's the whole thing we always say. Chest up, head high. You're going to engage your core. So draw the navel inward. You're going to go down, and I'm pushing through my heels. So I'm going to get some glute work down into my heels and back up. So we're dropping it like a squat, but look at the form here. So if I'm going to put a barbell behind my head, resting it back here, I like to have a sleeve on it so that's not hurting my neck, and something padded, or maybe you use a towel, whatever you need to do between the bar and your neck. If it bothers your neck, you're going to be here, but look, I'm looking up. So when we first started training, when I was in soccer, playing at 15, 16 years old at St. Thomas Aquinas Mercy, Coach Vince Drake had us working out. What did we do? A lot of squats. And it was this, looking up. People start to get tired and they start doing this. I'm sure you've been there before. You start doing this. And then what happens? You start bending over. So if you don't have the range of motion yet, then do this and get back up, but don't do this. Okay, so how do we get this working? We do a plie squat. So your toes come out a little wider. We're going to drop down and we're going to come back up. So I'm going to give you a little tip here. We did this the other night with the clients, and I can tell you, guaranteed, that they are feeling it. So I'm going to do some reps with you as we talk about this. Take something, maybe it's a deck of cards, which is what we were going to use the other night. Instead, I didn't have enough cards for all the girls. We had like 7 of them working out. So I had some pictures or old Hallmark cards. It didn't matter. What it allows you to do is go deeper to the ground. So you take a handful of them. We ended up using 5. I usually do an 8-card pickup. And here's what I'm going to show you. Trust me, you'll feel all of this. So here's my 10th one in a regular plie. But how do we get all the way to the ground? If you cannot, and what happens is you start doing this, then put like a nice yoga block, or maybe put a box that's 12 or 16 or 18 or 20 inches high. So it's going to give you a reference point to put your card or whatever down onto. So if I need a little assistance, here, let me grab this. So for those of you that say, no matter what I do, I can't get to the ground, I'm just taking this black box. I'm going to put it here. So now my cards are going to go right here on the box, which again is this high. Okay. So I would put the cards here, and I'll drop this for you just a bit so you can see that. There's the box. So I would be dropping it to here, which means my squat is right to here. If you can't go beyond that, that doesn't mean you can't do this exercise. So we always have something for everybody. So you would be taking and putting this right between your legs. You would take your card and you'd set it right here and you'd stand back up. You're still doing the movement here. You can see that I'm bending, getting into here, back on my heels a little bit more to get into my glutes. If I'm forward on the ball of my foot, I'm going to feel it more in my quads. So you're going to drop down. I want you to look forward and coming back up. Drop down, come back up. For those of you that do have your full range of motion, you can hear them a little out of breath, right? Moving, moving, moving. You're going to be here. You're going to take that card. You're going to drop it all the way down, setting it down on the ground and standing back up. So if I have 8 of them, which is what I had them do, sorry, it's a little wonky, isn't it? Let me do this, get you back straight. Okay, you would do this for me. I'm going to show you 3. You would drop that card down to the ground and you'd stand back up. Now it's time for us to pick it up. Make sure you understand all this. Pick it up, step forward, and I want you to be able to drop it down to where you can be right here in the middle. Drop 1 and you'd have all the cards in your hand. Drop 2 down, then you'd stand back up. Now what happens? We got to go get them, right? You only get 1 at a time though. You pick up 1 and then you would pick up number 2. And again, if you have to go to the box, you go to the box. Then I would step forward, but I'm just going to step and stay in the camera frame here. You would go and put down 1 of them, only 1 at a time. Go down, drop 2, and then drop 3. And then we have to go pick them up. Does that make sense? Only 1 at a time. Down 2, and try not to tip the chest over, and down 3. Okay, I'm going to come back on set here. Does that make sense to all of you? I'm out of breath. If I was able to, I would take my heart rate and it would probably be a little elevated. Okay, so I'm going to come back on set here with you. Fantastic. That gives you an idea of some exercises to do. So can we level up? Of course. Do we use, let me catch my breath for a second. Can we use weights? Of course. Can we go heavy in weights? Of course. Can we go to the gym? My answer is going to be of course, of course, of course. Yes, leveling up. Or for all of you that say, I have no weights, no access to the gym, there are no excuses. You can still get a phenomenal workout in. I just did about 15, 20 minutes showing you a bunch of different exercises to do. We started off down on the ground and then we moved. We were on our knees first and we did those donkey kicks straight up, bent fashion. We went into our fire hydrant. We then flipped onto our back. We did a bridge. We did a single leg bridge. I even showed you the frog related bridge. And then I told you could flip onto your stomach with your knees bent, getting a little stretch in those quads. And then you're going to have your heels like this. And then all you do is lift and engage those knees up off the ground. The core gets engaged and you squeeze in the glutes. It's not a very big move, but it's the concentration on the glutes. So that was another one we gave you before we stood up. And then when we stood up, we showed you squats, chest up, eyes forward, tuck in the belly, draw the navel inward. I always act like you're taking the navel and attaching it to the spine. No strain in the low back. And when you do your squats, don't tip over. Keep that elevation this way. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, Sherry, we need to get another workout sesh together. Literally the best day. Sherry, I love you. And yes, let's do that. And by the way, Sherry Anderson, who does my hair, and today I was like, I'm working out, so I'm not getting all. That's the thing I love about this show, is to be real. Like I said, if I got hot. So here's the tight on tight on tight. It would have been. I've got a little baggy on tight this morning. But as you get a little warmer, and then you start to strip the clothes off, like my client Danielle said. She said she's baggy on tight until she gets warm, and then she's tight on tight. Sherry, we need to do another session together, not only working out, but also for all of you that have questions about makeup tutorials, hair tutorials. I'd love to have Sherry on a regular basis. She does a phenomenal job. And if you're looking for a new person, by the way, to do your hair, you want to go to Sheer Studios down in the valley, not far from Annie Gunn. So go get your hair done, get your makeup done, go over for a fabulous meal, and go see my friend Chef Rook at Annie Gunn's. Jenny, come join us at Dude's Playground. She said yes, June 21st for the 3rd annual poker run. All cars are welcome. When it comes to mental health, Richard said Dude's Playground gets it. It's going to be a great time. So there you go. There's your home workouts. Now, what can I do for you? What would you like for me to show in our next session? So we sprinkle these in with workout and wellness Wednesdays, sometimes fitness Fridays. We won't have a fitness Friday this week. Instead, we will have Friendship Friday with Dot Fleshman, real estate and friendship. Carrie says, I'll be watching the replay from the beginning. What about the underarms? Okay, so that's for you. Let me write this down. This is what we did, by the way, in the very beginning of the show. I had an entire journal of topics you all wanted me to cover. And I encourage you to do that all over again. Start loading me up where it's just you and I together until the days that you can come and join us in a live studio audience, as well as when we have guests on. So this show is a mixture of all of that and more. So Carrie, and am I pronouncing your name right? I hope. Carrie Ginther. Carrie wants to know about underarms, the waving underarm. Okay. How would you like that to be? Next week, Wednesday, or we could do it on a Friday. If you all think it's better and you've got more of your family and friends that are home on a Friday, we could do it on a Friday as well. You tell me, Carrie, which one's best for you, because this is going to be dedicated to you. Start loading it up. Use my background in fitness to help you. Don't sit there alone. Carrie says that she will be watching. You can, yes, Jenny just gave our email address, by the way, info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com. Okay, I could do it on Wednesday, or it's going to have to be on Wednesday. Next Friday, the 11th, I'm speaking at St. Charles Community College. I cannot wait for that. So we'll actually be doing our broadcast live, talking about entrepreneurs, talking about furthering education, helping our youth as they're navigating the world. So that'll be done with Jerry Schultz. She'll be my guest next Friday. And then I will be speaking at St. Charles Community College to an audience that is wanting to hear how I took that leap. I'm looking forward to that. So it will be next Wednesday. Carrie, I'm going to put it on my calendar. So it's going to be here. The waving arms, right? So when you wave and the kids and the grandkids are like, why does your arms still wave? We're going to tighten up. It's called your triceps, by the way, Carrie. And says tight hamstrings, okay? And we'll get that for a future one for you. Load me up. Let me just get the whole month. We used to do that. As I said, when we first started this in 2023, I had so many of you, not just for the physical side, but you had things you wanted me to talk about when it was the dark side of perfectionism, right? It was ADD, ADHD. It was being a caregiver. I mean, you name it. Go back to those early ones. It was you and I right here in this room. And that's what we did. Yep. So good, Carrie says. Carrie, next Wednesday morning is for you, the underarm waving, and the following week will be yours for how you relax those tight hamstrings, which obviously you know you got to stretch. Richard, you want to know about stretching? That's coming up in a couple weeks. Okay, anybody else? Load me up with topics, physical, spiritual, mental, the whole triangle of life theory. Let's get you balanced. Let's get you well. When we return, we're going to put the spiritual side in it. We're going to give you the devotion from Jesus Listens when we return.
Hey guys, I just want to tell you being on the Monica Adams show it's just been a delight. It's been a joy. What she's doing for the community is amazing. I'm so proud to be sitting in this blue chair, being honored and honoring the people for the showcase that I'm doing for the Neiman Marcus Black Creatives in the Lou Black History Month Showcase. I want to end this segment with a poem that I wrote. I grew up on the north side. That's where it all started. Dreams, goals, and aspirations grew within me, and they never departed. You see, my environment was jaded, but that never fazed me, because what my parents instilled in me made my dreams go crazy. Mama was my cheerleader, and Papa gave me the tools. Everything could be yours, they would say. Just make sure you follow these rules. Work hard, don't look back, and keep your mind set on stable. And if you can't find yourself somewhere to sit, create your own table. Thank you, Monica, for creating this table. Take care. Be blessed.
Wasn't that remarkable? I mean, just so beautiful. And we always have people do these testimonials after they're on the show. Excuse me. And right after that, she's like, I have a poem for you. I was like, a poem? Are you serious? Wasn't that cool? Just, I love you, Yara. Yaro, excuse me. What a fabulous designer. The designs, fashion. I'm such a big fan of all this. Michelle, there is a Monica Fitness workout playlist on my YouTube page. Yes, we've got that. And we also have there's like 200 plus videos that I did for Channel 5 that, I don't know, Michelle, is that linked to my website, by the way? If not, is that YouTube page linked from Channel 5? Let me know that, because Michelle does a lot with my website. And we do have some that are tied into the TheRealMonicaAdams.com website, which are from my Channel 5 days. Like I said, there's 200 because we literally every day did one of those. Not every week. Every day we had a motivational moment with Monica. It was really awesome. Okay, everybody. I always want to make sure that you also get your spirit side taken care of. We are already into April, which is just crazy. I'm going to take a quick drink. Hydration is key. And thank you, Sherry, if you're still watching. She gave this to me. And do you notice the name at the bottom? A lot of you might be confused. And you're like, I thought your dog's name was Opus. I'm confused too. No, in all seriousness, when we got him, Jim wanted to name him Aubie after the mascot with Auburn football, because Jim went to Auburn. And it was Aubie and Opus. And when I when I adopted him from Home to Home Canine Orphanage in Pacific, I had named him Opus, and that's what was on his little collar. But we had discussed the possibility of both. So Jim calls him Aubie Opus or Aubie, and I call him Opus. So that's why. Some of those Channel 5 workouts are on your webpage. Yes, some of them are on there, and we'll give a link to you so that you can see all of them, because there's some incredible ones, or I'll just start doing those for you again. Okay, Jesus Listens from Sarah Young on this April 2nd. Dear Lord Jesus, help me to trust you and not be afraid. You've been training me to view trials as exercises designed to develop my trust muscles. I did not know that I was going to pick this one today. I almost picked Jesus Calling, but we're talking about muscles today. But these are the trust muscles. I live in the midst of fierce spiritual battles. Fear is one of Satan's favorite weapons to use against me. Whenever I start to feel afraid, I need to affirm my trust in you, praying, I trust you, Jesus. If circumstances permit, I can pray this affirmation out loud. The Bible tells me that if I resist the devil, standing firm against him, he will then flee from me. Then I can refresh myself in your holy presence. And as I speak and sing praises to you, your face shines graciously upon me, blessing me with peace. So please keep reminding me that there's no condemnation for those who belong to you, because you died on the cross for all my sins. I have been judged not guilty for all eternity. I will trust and not be afraid, because you are my strength, my song, and my salvation. That's your prayer for today. And if you want more information on these books, by the way, it's called Jesus Listens from Sarah Young. And she also has the one that I almost chose today. Marilyn, thank you, by the way, for giving these to us. Jesus Calling. Wonderful books. And then on set, we read 100 Days to Freedom, and those are from Stephen Arterburn. Of course, we are getting ready for He is Risen, and churches are beginning packed. You'll have overflow in some of the churches, or some people watch online. Wherever it is, receive the message. He died on the cross for you so you can live the life that you live. It is 8:09. We're going to go ahead and wrap the show up, let you get to your day. Please, please, please be very careful today. If you made the decision to keep your kids home, I think it's smart. At the break, I just responded to the person I was supposed to have lunch with today, and I said, let's go ahead and reschedule to next week because I want to keep them safe. I want to keep myself safe. I'll be here with the doggies, trying to check in on you a little bit later. Jenny says, amen. Hope everyone has a great day and to be kind as well. So I want you to please be careful, stay weather aware, maybe download an app from one of our local stations. Beckett is going to be very active on his X page today. He takes care of not only the immediate area, but also will tell you what's coming in outer states as it comes into our area. So the time period to watch for is going to be right about noon. It will start to move into our area. A level 5 in Cape Girardeau and in other areas south. Our area could be in the level 3 to level 4. This is not something to take lightly. Make sure that you have power source. Make sure you have flashlights. Make sure that you have your phones charged up. So I'm going to make sure that mine are charged. I'm looking at one of them and it's okay. The other, I'll probably throw it back on right now. Have a flashlight, have candles. If you have to go outside, make sure you have good sturdy shoes because you might have to run outside. Maybe there's some damage that comes in. I don't want any of that for you, but you need to be alert and weather aware. I'll be checking in on you, maybe from the closet as I do from time to time with the doggies, because I can guarantee you Tessa will be hiding in there. To all of you, please take care of yourself, take care of your neighbors. Tomorrow we will be at Yuppie Puppies Forever Rescue for a little positive talk time. We've got a lot to talk about, including an Easter egg hunt for your dogs. Also, they're starting to accept donations for their big gala that's coming up in the fall, and just getting you ready for bundling up with your babies, your fur babies at that. Friendship Friday coming up again on Friday. And then if you have anyone that you know that has autism, maybe ADD, ADHD, Monday's show is for you. We're going to talk with an author about autistic children and looking forward to having her on the show. Her name is Gwendolyn. Pleasant. Yes, Gwendolyn Pleasant is my guest. That'll be coming up on Monday morning. And then Faith Berger will be unveiling the new piece that will go behind us, this massive piece that will be going behind us on set that she painted for us. I cannot wait to see it. I haven't seen it. I can't wait to see it in person. It's going to be beautiful and it'll be a brand new look to our set. All right. So some really cool things to come. And remember, reach out to me. Any topics, any guests you would like to have us on, just email me at info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com. Have a beautiful day. Stay safe. And we'll see you tomorrow morning. Be kind. God bless you.